Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Ramadan Mubarak to my friends and every Muslim out there. So I made this A-line dress and a kimono jacket to celebrate the Eid al-Fitr. So I'm not a Muslim, but I have friends and I might be invited for the celebration. So I decided to make something appropriate for the occasion, right? So this is a straightforward tutorial. All you need is your basic fitted dress block pattern. If you don't have a basic fitted dress block pattern, I have a video on that, so go check that out and make yours. So what I did first was to trace. I left an inch space just to add a little bit detail on my sleeveless A-line dress. So, and also to give the back an opening. I don't have a zipper. I wanted to use a zipper, but I don't have, so I decided to leave that space open. So first thing first, get your pattern paper and your basic fitted dress block pattern. Leave a 1 inch space at the center front, then trace. You only need the front pattern to create the two side, the front and the back pattern piece. All right, so trace your pattern and we'll get started from there. So this is one of the easiest A-line dress you will ever make. Sleeveless, straight to the point. One pattern I used for the two pieces. So first I needed to adjust the shoulder. I wanted 2 inches, but 2 inches is a bit small, so I set it for 3 inches. So I marked 3 inches on the shoulder. Then recreate the armhole curve. So I created armhole curve, just curve it all the way down to the armhole depth. Then once I'm done with that, I drew my A-line from the armhole depth down to my desired dress length. Easy peasy. After that, I cut out my pattern shape out, then adjust the neck because I'm using one pattern. So I measured 1 inch for the back neck, then maintain the same neck curve for the front. So that is it. Cut out your pattern, cut out your fabric, and don't forget the 1 inch at the center front. I'm gonna use that to add a little bit of detail for my front piece. Then open the back, use it to create an opening for the back for my back piece. I started with the front piece. First I need to stitch the 1 inch that I left to create a detail at the center front, but in order to do that I have to pin round the dress. This is a satin, a really soft satin. It feels like a slick fabric, but it's not. So it's very soft and it slithers right through my hand, so I need to like pin to hold it steady enough for me to stitch. So first I just pin around the entire dress, then I use a needle and a thread to stitch out the 1 inch up to the desired length I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be 9 inch, so I just did that. So after her stitching, I marked out my 9.5 inches, then straight to the sewing machine to stitch all the way down to the 9.5 inches. Then I also locked the center back for the back pieces. Because of how delicate the fabric is, I used a smaller needle, a size 11 rather than a size 14, because I don't want while sewing it just start dragging the fabric thread, and I don't want it to look tacky because the fabric is quite unique. So yeah. Next, I stitched the center back close, not all the center back. I wanted to use a zipper, but I don't have a zipper, so I had to improvise by leaving space. enough to fit in my head and to give me ease. So I just went down a little bit below the armhole depth, let's say like 13.5 inches. Then I stitched close the remaining center back. After stitching the center back, it's time for me to join the front and back pieces together, right sides together as usual. Then stitch the shoulder together, then stitch the side together. So after stitching, I always press. You have to press this type of fabric. So I pressed, and also for the front, remember the 1 inch, I also press that. So pin and stitch. After stitching the side seams and the shoulder, I locked. Then I went to the sleeve. For the sleeve, I wanted my sleeve to be different. I just wanted to get over the sleeve. So I didn't use a facing and I didn't use a tape. So what I did was to overlock the sleeve round, the two sleeves round. Then fold once and sew. So for this type of fabric, the best bet is to use a tape and facing. But if you have to do like me, like fold once, you have to be very careful. I mean, your sewing pace will be very slow. Although I was really careful, very careful, I was really meticulous about this, but there was a bit of ripple at the front side, but it was okay. I'm not making it for anybody, I'm making it for myself. So but I think it's not too obvious. So yeah, I just let it be. I tried to like rip the stitch one stitch, but it didn't work out, so I just let it be. So next I sewed my facings together, the front and back facing. It's easy, very easy to create a facing. You just place back the front neck and the back neck on a piece of paper or on your fabric, and you cut out the shape. So as you can see, this my facing is not equal, so I cut it to shape to make everything the same size. Then stitch right side together. Then once I'm done stitching, I place on my dress the neck, the right side facing the right side and the wrong side facing you. So just stitch round. As usual, I top stitch just to keep it at the back. Then I use a needle on thread to hold it in place to the dress. That is it. After hand stitching the facing to the dress, I worked on the back a bit. I used an elastic I got from an old dress. I just harvested it from an old dress that I'm no longer wearing. So I used it as a hook. So I just put it on one side of the center back and underneath the facing, then stitch all the way down to the opening just to put everything in place. Then I did for the other side, I just stitch close just to keep everything in place, then stitch my button, and that is it. So just watch. The next step for the A-line dress is hemming. All I did was double fold the bottom of the dress, then stitch on the edge. So after making the A-line dress, I went straight to stitching the kimono jacket. Here I have assembled all the pieces I need to create my kimono jacket with the applique. I have videos, 2 videos or 3 videos on how to cut a kimono jacket. You don't need a pattern paper. All you need is your fabric. You cut out the neckline, measure from your neck down to get your desired sleeve where you want the sleeve to stop, and your length. Here I wanted my length to be new length, but my fabric is small, so I have to cut my size according to the fabric I have, and you see it just covers my bum only. So the way I will be stitching this is quite different. And yet the neckline, did I say the neckline is different? Also the neckline, I used a V neckline, and I used a little bit of details just to create like this fancy look on that neckline. I started by locking the rough edge of the shoulder, the front and back pieces. Then I went ahead to join my lace. I wanted it to be wider, so I joined it at the center and stitch all the way down. So I'm going to use this lace to attach the front and back pieces. Next, I attach the shoulders together using the applique, the lace applique. So you're just going to watch what I did here. I've already locked the rough edges, that's the shoulder rough edges, then press in some parts. There's no measurement, I just press it in the part I'm going to use. It looks really neat. Then I stitch the side seam just to form the kimono. Here I am done with the shoulder as well as the side seam. So next I want to create like a tape, a bias tape for the neck line all the way to the center front. So there's no measurement for this, I just eyeballed it. I couldn't get one strip, I had to cut it into two because my fabric couldn't create like a whole entire strip to cover the length of the kimono. so I had to cut two and join in the center. All right, so all you need to do if you want to create like a bias tape to cover the neckline as well as the center front for your kimono jacket, you can make it 6 inches width. That's in fold 3 inches. So I just attached my two pieces together for the tape. Then I pressed in ½ inch in on both rough edges, because the way I'll be attaching my tape is I will tuck in the center front rough edges into it. So I want to sew it just at a go once. So I'm going to tuck in the center front into it, then stitch. All right. Let me tell you, I was really not keen on getting the edge, although my aim was to get the edge, but time is of the essence. It was just like moving front, back, outside, inside. I just did what I could do. Outside is fine, inside is a little bit dragging, but I will just take it as it is. If I need to adjust it, I can adjust it, but I don't think I need to do that right now. So moving on, I hemmed the edge in a different way. So I first lock the bottom of the kimono jacket, then fold in once and place the lace applique on it. That is it. Easy, as you can see. This is the final stage. So I attached my attached sleeve to my kimono jacket. So I call this the attached sleeve. I have done this before in I think I've done this before using the lapel collar jacket and also the Ankara kimono jacket. So all I need to do is attach the lace to the main fabric, then attach the attached sleeve to the kimono. That is it. Stitch the side close, lock, attach the lace to it, then attach it to the kimono jacket. That is straightforward. So just watch everything I did. After stitching my sleeve to the kimono, I locked the rough edges, and this is it, colors done. So please encourage me by subscribing to my channel, like and share. You don't know who might want to make an Eid dress, so share. If you want me to make something different, if you want to see a new look, just comment. I will try my best to make something you want to see. All right, so thank you so much for watching to the end. Take care.